twisted. We're sick. We're a sick species in need of logic, in need of God. And if there's one thing that I can get across to people, please let it be that. So we know they want us to devour each other, so let's do the opposite. I'm going to go through a few thoughts I've had this past week. Those with the greatest mental health issues are those who refuse to admit they have mental health issues. And in this world, you're supposed to. Those that fit in the worst of this scene, man, they're the closest to the heart of God. You're not supposed to fit in. Just so you understand that, though, you can't feel alienated and isolated, okay? If you don't fit into this system, you're on the right track. You're not supposed to, man. Believing we own squat is delusional. You can't really own anything. Everything's usership. If we are to know reality, we must first be willing and able to face reality. Can you imagine a world of prosperity entirely without money? If we are free, do we pay taxes and bills? Then why do we pay taxes and bills? We are not free. We are chained from birth to Satan, to the money masters. Remember, according to the Bible, we're not supposed to fit into this scene. This is Satan's scene. Not being born free is a noxious affront to our natural conscience. If employers want to keep the cost of services labor down, keep the cost of goods down. Right. That's it. That's why I say minimum wage could have been used as a check and balance. Another way to skin a cat. So instead of blaming the worker who's just trying to stay balanced, if his cost of living goes up and he doesn't get a commensurate cost of living adjustment, then mathematically speaking, there's no difference than he got a pay decrease. Show me where I'm wrong. Show me where I said it. What I said is illogical, unreasonable, or not mathematically sound. It is. So if you want to keep the cost of living, point to those manipulating markets and raising his cost of living and his numbers down, requiring a commensurate cost of living adjustment for a pay raise. Okay? Don't blame correctly. Okay? Don't put the cart before the horse. Crony capitalism is another way of saying pseudo-capitalism. Need it be pointed out that ending extreme poverty would be good for the economy. How couldn't it be? Primarily, embracing universal, absolute, unequivocal freedom is an essential element in establishing a viable reality. Our level of acceptable social economic absurdity has reached epic, historic, monumental, unprecedented, even biblical proportions. Far more important than confronting perpetual grassroots issues is confronting the systemic, literal root of our problems. Yeah, a lot of people are proponents of grassroots. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but we're not going to fix stuff on a grassroots level if we're using unsound economic policy and unsound currency in the local grassroots arena in your community. The currency has to be sound, and that currency emanates from the top. So we've got to confront the people at the top, the Federal Reservists, the money printing class, and their highfalutin, prominent political collaborators. Okay, these are the people. They need to pay the bills. They need to be sued. This debt, this national debt, needs to be forgiven on that premise. If your numbers are going up, do you ask who's paying the national debt? A lot of people don't. They just bury their head in the sand. Ignorance is bliss. And they say, I can't worry about somebody else's problem. My numbers are going up. The economy's working for me. This is what sickens me. I find these kind of people repugnant, repulsive. You can't do that. You can't say conform to this, man. It's not working, man. Weak links are busting right and left, man. And those are good weak links, better men than I. And I'm not okay with it, man. And I sure as hell don't want to be. You know, I'd make a really bad sycophant. Even if we insist all men are our friends, invariably, unexplainably, some will demand to be our enemy. It doesn't feel good, being hated without a cause. Does anyone really need to be told you were born enslaved for evil intent? That's what it's all about, folks, to be used. That's what it's all about. The money masters have enslaved us from birth. Why our possessions tend to possess us? Well, it's just you got to take care of them, right? See, everybody, all the possessions we have are something we got to keep organized, we got to look after, and we got to dust and clean and fix and worry about them getting stolen or rotting, whatever. So they possess us. It is like a form of demon possession. When you feel like all this stuff I got to look after and I own all this crap and, I got to pay somebody else to take care of it now, and it just gets worse and like a snowball effect. We get in deeper and more demon possessed. So, having a lot of possessions and great wealth is not all it's cracked up to be. I mean, why? Why bother? When the rich fear they will lose? Okay, why bother? The poor fear they will never have. Maybe it's better if you're used to being poor. Maybe it's better not to be rich if I'm going to worry about losing it. I don't want it. There are more than one way to skin a metaphorical cat. The cat in this case is tyranny through a specific type of very effective oppression, economic oppression. The more highly we think of others, the more highly we will think of ourselves. So that's why it's to no avail, no benefit when we belittle others. Never do that. It's a very unbecoming, ungodly quality. America has been going down the anti-America, unconstitutional path for over half a century. That's right. We had a huge coup with the assassination of JFK. But they take a long time to sneak it in, okay? And it really started flourishing around Bill Clinton and George Bush and 9/11 and all that crap. That's when it really took hold, and Obama just feeding it, just doubling the national debt, pouring $10 trillion into the economy while increasing extreme poverty. So increasing all the problems, the dubious war, the national debt, the crime, and all the problems, the abortions and the suicides and the prostitution and all the vices, the drug use, all the problems, man. Obama didn't do nothing to help, man. He just went along. He just a cog in the wheel, man. President of the most powerful country in the world. And that's how you squandered it, brother? Good luck facing your maker, man. Just remember, you didn't make your own brain. Nobody did. Okay? He owns our brain. He owns our ability to think. So you can say it's free will. I've made myself who I am. Yeah? Who gave you the ability to make yourself who you are? Never forget, God owns you, man. Your heart, your soul, your spirit, your mind, and your body. Everything. Everything you ever can do is because he gave you the wherewithal to do it. Everything you have came from him. He owns it all. If you think guys like Alex Jones are nuts, and you think guys like Jesus are whacked out of their skulls. Right. I mean, that's it. I mean, that's the way the world is. No, Jesus was very sound-minded. He was very logical. He was very reasonable and rational. That's how God is. God is very consistent. Nothing bad is from God. He's a stream of pure, fresh, sweet water flows out of him. And we've got to imitate him, emulate him. Strive to be like him. Why does any discussion of economic justice for all make so many people squirm? Because they believe their real or perceived self-interests are at stake. When it comes to money, focus on the worth and forget the numbers. You see, they want us to all focus on the numbers. You just worry about your own numbers, forget everybody, forget all this nonsense about inflation, deflation, it'll make your head spin. So just bury your head in the sand, ignorance is bliss, and just make sure your numbers are increasing and you'll be fine. Isn't that the message of the world? Those that are running the world system, isn't that what they give you? It's hard to be honest when our empty, meaningless pseudo comfort zone is threatened by the truth. Greatest wealth any nation can ever attain, a willing workforce, and who can say we don't have it? Matthew 25:12, because of the increase of wickedness, the love of many will wax cold. That's where we're at. Psalm 11:5, the soul of God hates those who love violence. How deliberately expanding poverty automatically expands tyranny. I'm not going to go into explaining, I'm running out of time. Inflation equals regression, deflation equals progression. It's tough to